Okay. Anime women are quite the enticing specimen. So many varieties, so many looks, personalities and attributes and things that make them an absolute delight. It's quite interesting when considering the value that accompanies them. Because these anime 2D women are often praised and desired with varying levels of extremity. So much so that the worth these anime women have is undeniable. In simple man's terms, anime women are worth a lot. One could argue that if someone were to, some level, market and merchandise these anime women, they would make a handsome pile of coin. Truth is that stunning, genius, lucrative idea has already been done. However, I'm not here to argue the value of anime women. I am simply analyzing what in theory could be considered more valuable than the other one produced by an anime woman. I feel that analyzing the typical 2D woman products is much too simple and unchallenging. Instead, I will focus to a very specific anime woman substance. Their very liquids, their juices, their fluids. How much is every one worth from a practical standpoint, and which one, to some extent, reasonably costs a decent amount if it were possible to get from the second dimensional plane to the third dimensional plane? At some level, I will be concurring my own estimates, if you will. I think this is going to be quite tasteful. We will begin from the top to the bottom, beginning with sweat. Now, sweat is tricky, as anime women can sweat all over, and one could argue that depending on the point of origin of the sweat, it could increase in value. Though if we look at this from a practical sense, what inherent value does anime sweat legitimately have? Well, for one, it could in theory be drunk, although the hydrative properties are laughable. Sweat acts to cool the body, and in the process of sweating, other things aside from water accompanies the sweat. Sweat is made up of small hints of potassium, calcium, zinc, salt, and urea, which is found in pee. These things inadvertently make drinking sweat not viable for the sake of hydration. It doesn't really have any use other than to be drunk, though. That's lamentable. I personally would estimate and value this fluid, taking out the whole 2D to 3D conversion aspect, as it would get too confusing and too overly expensive, no matter which fluid we're talking about, as approximately $50 for like a pint, purely because getting that much is difficult, though never impossible. Next we have spit. Spit. Adored by some, abhorred by others. It is no doubt a more flavorful commodity and something that apparently my audience seems to prefer above all else.
We are going to spit. Open wide. YouTube. Sorry. Twitch loves the spitties, and now you guys are gonna have to suffer too. So yeah, YouTube open wide as well. Say now swallow. Okay.
Unlike sweat, spit does have other uses. Not only can it be drunk, it can be used as a lubricant and a solvent. Truly enticing. Unlike sweat, spit as well is a lot easier to get and requires much less effort and circumstantial requirements to get. Although, as stated previously, it has slightly more uses. It can be drunk and poses no inherent danger to the person drinking the spit, unless this anime girl has certain spicy contracted diseases, in which case this substance is quite the biohazard. The act of drinking it could arguably be beneficial in large quantities, as spit technically carries proteins, enzymes, epithelial cells, white blood cells, mucus, and is 99% water. Arguably a better drinking option than sweat, and it serves the purpose of being a better solvent than sweat, as spit is meant to serve the purpose of breaking down foods and things of the sort. It quite literally exists to do that. I would estimate and put this to be worth around 75 for a liter, because it has increased performance and one more use over sweat. Next we move lower to a very adored region, and discuss the value of anime girl milk. Anime milk. Thick and creamy with a rich viscosity, packed full of white blood cells, amino acids, vitamins and minerals, hormones, antibodies, over 200 complex sugars, enzymes, proteins, and water. This warm white liquid can be drunk, serve as a lubricant in theory due to the viscosity. It could possibly be viable to bake with anime girl milk for one, as if milk in general can be used to cook, who's to say anime girl milk in theory can't serve that purpose? Anime women as well have large depositories for milk and can produce greater amounts than the average 3D human. This could be a more convenient substance. Recorded evidence that pretty much all anime women are capable of producing copious amounts of milkies. I would estimate the value of this to be around 150 for a liter. It has more use, but it's easier to get. Now we move down to a more darker, cavernous area, right straight into the liquid waste response, colloquially known as pish. Now, to some, or rather, to most, the golden self-produced lemonade is not appealing in the slightest, and why would it be? Its only purpose really is to be waste. Drinking it would be the equivalent of drinking used dirty water. It is comprised of water, however, it being a waste substance, it is quite literally filled with things that their body doesn't want anymore. It doesn't make any sense to take another person's garbage knowing it's garbage. Not only that, but like sweat, it's quite, salty. So if anything, you would get dehydrated instead of receiving any hydrational benefits. I would estimate $7 for a liter. Dirt cheap and easy to get, and the reason why you would want this is concerning. So through all that, it seems that in every possible way, anime girl milk is still the best, most lucrative substance to be made by anime women. It has the most uses and nutritional benefits, and it's relatively easy to get a large batch through a consenting anime woman. All the others have their benefits and stat buffs, but not particularly as much as anime girl milk. So with that, make sure that when choosing an anime fluid, be sure to go with naturally produced, free-range, whole, pasteurized anime girl milk. And with that, if you guys enjoyed this video, theoretically, if you have watched this far, then you do enjoy my videos, feel free to leave a like, subscribe, share this with your neighbor, high school teacher, and wife. Make sure to always do things purely and solely and only for the purpose of science and the pursuit of knowledge. Always do everything for science and not for degeneracy. And I'll be back to answer another question that non-scientists can answer.